What's up, YouTube? It's your boy NextGenNero back with another video, man. Today I'm trying something called retro reviews, where I review games that's about 10 to 15 years older and anything before that. Definitely anything that's over half my age is I'm considering a retro based on how old I am. I'm 26 years old, about to be 27 this year in December. Creeping up on 30, man, becoming an old head out here, man. But that's besides the point, man. I really want to highlight one of my favorite video games of all time, and that's Metro 2033 Redux. But I also have to include the entire trilogy when I say favorite game of all time. This entire trilogy is one of my favorite trilogies in gaming, period, man. It's just nothing like it. I'm gonna go into reasons why I think it's one of a kind. You know, we don't get video games like this anymore. Everything about it, I loved it. Last Light may as well be one of my favorites, but what I will say confidently is the first two games of the Metro trilogy are by far my favorites of the trilogy. And I love Metro Exodus. I think it's a really good game. And I wanted to do these reviews for the channel because just as many great games is coming out this year and going forward, it's a lot of really great games that's near and dear to my heart that I never got the chance to review or simply make content on. So, you know, for me, it's kind of fun, and I'm addicted to replaying games that I love, right? I can play Skyrim a million times. I can play this Metro trilogy thousands of times. I've got the platinum for Mass Effect 1 earlier this year, and I can replay that trilogy thousands of times as well, man. Something about great games. Halo Reach is another one. You know, something like a God of War, the original Greek trilogy. Those are games to me that are just absolutely timeless, and I can play over and over and over and over and over. And with that being said, I review a lot of new games coming out, but if you guys stick around my channel and you know me, I review games on my own time. I believe a good review is timeless, no matter if it's 10 or 15 years after a game release. If somebody discover it and they want to hear a real gamer's perspective, that is why my channel exists. Sometimes these reviews might only get 50 views, 60 views. Sometimes they get 100, a few hundred. But I do it for the passion of gaming and the love of my community, man. So with that being said, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. If you want more content like this, please comment. Recommend some of your favorite games that are, you know, 10 plus years older that I may or may not have checked out. And maybe I'll check it out and bring some content and we can discuss it. But with that being said, if you never played Metro 2033, it is a post-apocalyptic story set in the Moscow Metro rail system where survivors of a nuclear war hide from radiation, mutants, and other threats. The story can refer to the 2002 novel. I'm not going to pronounce his name, you know, but this game is over 15 years old. It released in 2010. I think it was a very unique game and setting to take place in, you know, 2033, as in the title. And it's about a generation that's been born and raised underground that must fight for survival, not against just, you know, the mutant horrors and stuff above the radiation, but also against each other. And if that's not humanity in a bottle, then Lord, what is? You know what I'm saying? No matter what the situation is, what humanity, we are always going to end up fighting with each other, whether it's for resources, whether it's just for survival, or just domination and people wanting to lead. We see it in so many of my favorite post-apocalyptic worlds, whether it's something like Days Gone or the Last of Us universe. You can just look at it from the perspective that it's always going to be power-hungry people, whether the society is thriving or society is quite frankly ended, like the story we have at hand right here. So the thing I love the most about this game, and also Last Light, right? And Last Light may get its own dedicated video, because like I said, guys, I'm doing a replay of the trilogy on my PlayStation 4 Pro. I already played them on my Series X a few years ago, and I just had the urge for this atmospheric game. And for me, that's the thing I love the most about the first two games of the trilogy, is the atmosphere. When I first played this game for the first time on my Series S about 3 years ago, right? And it has 100 FPS, 120 FPS on the Series S. That was my first time as a console gamer experiencing such high frame rate in a video game. So yes, this game has many moments that just make me smile when I think about even my first playthrough years ago. And I was kind of late. Like I said, this game is 15 years old. In my opinion, I think it has aged really good, especially if you're on Xbox. I'm not sure if the FPS, I think it's locked to 60 on the PS5, and which for me in a single player game really don't make a difference. But, you know, kudos to Xbox for definitely having that great FPS boost programming technology in their consoles. I think that's really dope, and I hope PlayStation somehow brings something like that into the next generation along with FPS boost. But I'm sorry guys to get off track, I just had to mention that. Now back to the topic at hand. I love the atmosphere in these first 2 games. Now I love Metro Exodus as well. I think it's a solid 8.5, 9 out of 10. But I will say, being able to go above ground and seeing that, you know, humanity can still thrive and live above ground versus in the first 2 games where you're strictly mostly underground. Guys, I believe it's just something so unique and something so satisfying about humanity thinking and believing in their hearts that they can never return to the surface of our planet. To me, that alone is just such a unique aspect and point of view to start a story on. You know, humanity stuck underground, we got dwindling resources, you know, people is scared to go to the surface. The few people that do go up to the surface is considered heroes, the strongest of the strongest, you know, to go up there, scout, try to get supplies and come back down, or just go up there and kill these mutants. This is one of my favorite universes in a video game setting, period. And I'm kind of feeling like I'm doing myself a disservice by not reading the book. I definitely pick up the book at some point. I just want to get it a physical copy, but if I can't, I'll just, you know, probably get it on Apple Books, pick it up. That's no problem. I love video game books, or books that's video games are based off of, to get a better, you know, understanding and deeper understanding of the world. But to me, this game was just fantastic, man. You don't get games with this type of atmosphere no more. You know, we got the Stalker series, which I'm gonna be honest, I have not gotten around to. They are in my backlog. Stalker 2 just got announced for the PS5 Pro, so I definitely plan to check that out eventually. But this game, man, everything from the setting to just the feel, it feels really, even the movement like ties in with the atmosphere, right? It has really realistic heavyweight movement. You know, it's kind of like a sim to a certain degree. You know, you don't have the Call of Duty first person running around willy-nilly, you know, just having a great time and trying to kill everybody at full speed and like a superhero. You don't have that. This game is specifically designed to feel slightly sluggish and weighed down with the gear that you're carrying. And I absolutely love that, because it brings another level of immersion and just realisticness to the game, and that I just really love. It just feels really good, even with the clunkiness. And another highlight for me, guys, is the voice acting. I think it's great. Some people don't really love it, but I learned to love all the characters around me. Even my boy Artyom, who's a silent protagonist for the series. He don't really even say anything, but you know, when he commentate between each chapters about what's going on, I love that as well. You know what I'm saying? The atmosphere in this game can't be stated enough, man. It is the perfect for a post-apocalyptic world. The feeling of dread while traversing with low ammo, with very little time left for filters, can make each level and each playthrough very intense. Personally, I love that. A lot of people might have hated for that very same reason. Some people like to feel unstoppable in video games, and they, you know, prefer being invulnerable versus realism. But I personally prefer the realism, especially in single player story driven first person games, right? That's a lot to say right there. Try saying that 5 times quick. But to me, this is a really good series, man. It is a gem. The only con I really had about this game and the series, especially the first 2 games, is kind of the fall damage. You know, if you fall 2 meters off a ledge, you can kind of die or be on the verge of dying. But man, this game really took me by surprise when I first discovered it about 4 years ago. The gameplay is amazing. The story is very interesting. Like I said, it just, the atmosphere is so heavy and tense, guys. Like, if you have not played this game, I highly recommend it, man. I love the customization of the weapons, and it really takes another step further in the 3rd game. But man, I love all 3 of these games. You can find all 3 games in the PlayStation Store or the Xbox Store for about $10 for all 3 of them. You cannot beat that. This is some of the best storytelling and immersion in a video game, period. And it's easily one of the best video games I played. It's just so extremely immersive, and I felt like I never had to look away from the game. You know, whether it's exploring those halls when you first start the game and you see the kids running around, you see humanity just trying to survive, man. You know, we're holding on by a thread, and not a lot of video games do that well. And I think that's why Last of Us, you know, continues to be some of my favorite video games ever created, because when you can display humanity barely holding on but still thriving and still surviving, well, thriving is not the word, but surviving and thriving in those certain circumstances that they are in, it's just another level, man. I have a lot of homies that I convinced to get this trilogy. Some of them haven't played it yet, man, but if you haven't played this game and you own it, please, man, prioritize this in your backlog. This game is a 10 out of 10. If you're wondering on purchasing this game and you've been on the verge and you see it is cheap and you thinking about picking it up, go with it. Don't even think about it, man. As far as the enjoyment I felt while playing this, it's on the same level as Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2. Those are games that I just didn't want to look away from, and I just wanted to continue playing. This game also has really good horror aspects in it, man. Scenes and moments that can send plenty of chills down your spine. But man, I absolutely love it, man. This is a great game, guys. I just had to do this retro review, and I just never spoke about it. So I figured, why not open my laptop, bring my mic out, and just, talk about one of my favorite games of all time. It's really easy and simple to do. But if you guys would like more reviews like this, please hit that like button. Please subscribe. It's been your boy NextGenNero, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.